So welcome to match number 17 in the Spiceisle Junior Level T10 Championship. We're getting close to the back end of the tournament. With me today we have the captains of the Clove Challengers and the Ginger Generals, along with our match official here for the toss this morning. This morning's game, Clove is the home team, and of course the coin is now provided. Head is the call. Tail it is. Skip. So you've won the toss. Tell us, what is it that you intend to do?
We're going to have a bowl first. Just looking at the conditions, it's a bit overcast, and I think we've put in the three pieces together well, and we're looking to continue playing good and remain on top of the table.
Any changes to your squad for today?
No, we're playing same team.
Any reason why you're playing the same team?
Well, you don't want to change the winning formula. I mean, it's been working for us so far. We don't want to get complacent though, but we just want to keep doing the good work and stay ahead of things.
All right, thank you very much. We also would like to invite the captain of the Ginger Generals. Johan, unfortunately you didn't win the toss today. If you won the toss, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we're going to have a bowl first. I think in T10 cricket, it's always good to know what you're chasing.
Based on where you are in the tournament, how important is this game to the team?
It's very important. I think a win again today would be very crucial for us. I think that would bring us to the top of the table. I think the guys been playing some really good cricket over the last couple of games, so hopefully we can just put the pieces together again.
You started off very shaky in terms of the matches. Were you concerned?
No, I wasn't concerned. I prefer to see that up front, than the back end of the tournament, because the guys will now, gelling together and stuff like that. But I believe after spending some days together, and playing a few matches, I think that we get in the formula.
Great. Any changes to the squad for today?
Yes. Bartholomew, Cleveland Bartholomew coming for Larry because of injury, Larry Williams.
All right. Thank you very much. So there we had it. The toss. The Clove Challengers have won the toss and decided to bowl first. Match number 17, Spiceisle Junior Level T10.
Very good morning to all, and good evening to wherever you are following this game today. We welcome you back to Lassajas playing field. We are witnessing the Dream 11 Spiceisle T10 tournament. This is, I think, it's game number 15 this morning. Ginger General, they would come up against Clove Challengers. What I can tell you is that the conditions are so much better than yesterday. Still slight overcast just to the east of us, but the facilities in splendid condition. The pitch, wicket as usual, looks very well, and the outfield continues to look lush and really good for cricket. Slight breeze blowing, as you see the flags just blowing across and really creating a really good atmosphere for this game today. Ginger Generals have been successful on the last game. Will want to continue their winning ways, but coming up against a team that has done very well so far, having defeated Nutmeg Warriors yesterday convincingly, Clove Challengers. And they're sitting at the top of the table at this time will want to continue their winning ways. So we do expect another keen and exciting encounter. This first game, Ginger Generals, they come up against the Clove Challengers. We do expect that today would be a brighter day. Remember, yesterday there was a heavy cloud cover right through the day. We were happy that we were able to get through to all the games. So even as we come down to the second week of this tournament, teams are going to fight for the top. They try to make the last four. So just to give you the teams, Clove Challengers, Roland Keto, captain, Darren Ned, Hassan Jackson, Amikel Dubiset, Javed Hazard, Kurt Murray, Samuel Charles, Nicholas Redhead, Darren Hippolyte, Richard Rogers, and Sheldon Joseph. No change from the team that played yesterday. And certainly with a winning team, you'd want to maintain winning to keep your same team. Ginger Generals, Johan Jeremiah, John L. Eugene, Dennis George, Jared Gilks, Christian Stewart, Gerald Jeremiah, Ronald Williams, Davis Charles, Anil Matthew, Cleveland Bartholomew, Keishon Abraham, and Jonathan Taylor. So we just about a few minutes before the start of play. Small gathering on the outside, but as the day progresses, we know that momentum will pick up. We have 2 games scheduled for today. Lassa just continues to look a picture. The sun is just looking to force its way out, just to the east of us. The ground staff has done a tremendous job, just to make sure that we are up and ready to play. So we expect, as we look at both teams, Roland Keto, Darren Ned, who played a tremendous inning yesterday, coming off with 50-yard not out. Hassan Jackson also have done well with the bat, batting through one particular inning, opening the batting and really going right down to the end. So the toss was won by Clove Challengers, and they have elected to field. Umpires Sean Manmoring and Isaiah Peters, making their way out, followed by the opening batsman. And Ginger Generals coming off that victory yesterday, a team that really should be growing in confidence. Didn't start as well as they would have expected. Today, Johan Jeremiah he lead the Ginger General. Would want to really turn things around. So a lot will depend on himself and Anil Matthew. Really has been the mainstay in terms of the batting. So I don't think it's a bad decision. Clove Challengers winning the toss and fielding. Probably want to take advantage of just a slight overcast. Give the fast bowlers a chance. It's a team that is made up of a team that is made up of quality fast bowlers, the likes of Jackson and Darren Ned, who's can really move the ball about. So it will be interesting to see the approach of both Jeremiah and Anil Matthew. They will want to make sure that Ginger Generals get off to a good start, set a good foundation. As we have seen, Justin, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Yeah, we would have seen as we continue to discuss, wickets have been falling in very early in first over, the second over. Ginger Generals, who I think had a good opening start, probably one of the better opening stands. They will want to continue their good work.
Yes, indeed. And this is a very important game for both teams. If the Ginger Generals can probably win here, it will mean that it will put them in a position also where they can find themselves in a decent position coming to the business end of the tournament. However, Clove has looked really probably the best team in the tournament so far, I should say. And they would want to continue that trail, that winning streak that they're on.
Yeah, nobody has been written off as yet. So Ginger Generals want to continue winning from here. Double set. Ball turned down the leg side and probably 4 wide signal there. Strained down the leg side. Just eluding the keeper. And that went down to the boundary for 4. So good start as 5. 5 wides. The left-handed Jeremiah.
Rather inauspicious start, down the leg side wide, and certainly not the type of start you would want as a team out in the field.
Yes, it's not a sort of start that you would want. You want to make sure that you keep things very tight. That's a sort of wayward delivery. Yeah, seemed to have kept low. Keeper really had some difficulty in holding that one. Anil Matthew comes in to face his first delivery. Matthew, who has really demonstrated that his ability to hit the ball long.
Oh yes, do it. That's it, man.
To be said, just looking for a line and length, just looking to aim just outside the off stump. Interesting to see that Anil Matthew just lifting the bat, allowing this one to pass outside the off stump. It's something you rarely see in this shortened version of the game.
Yes. You know, I haven't chat with some of these players, you help them to understand that even in the shortest form of the game, you can really afford to let a delivery go. And always there's a chance of making up at the later in the over.
Yeah, good shots, straight driven there by Anil Matthew. Ball over pitch. And he came forward and gave it the right treatment and stroked it really nicely back past the bowler, just on the onside. The fielder feeling long on, really had no chance, but a good, confident shot played there by Anil Matthew.
Yes, and that is on the back of the delivery which he defended. And it goes to show that you can always, as I say, always make up. So you don't have to be rushed. You have more time than you think you actually have, despite the length of the version of the game.
Yeah, interestingly, he allowed the next one to go. And I want to get the impression that maybe the strategy seemingly is changing. One have to be careful not to speak too quickly. But we saw 2 deliveries outside the off stump that he allowed to go through. Certainly looks a play each ball on its merit. It's 10. We have 5 deliveries being bowled. And, you can calculate and you can work it out. You have 10 over. You want to make sure that you don't drop on that 10 at no time. Pick up the runs as it comes. Too many times, I think, batters are being carried away trying to make shots. Trying to make shots with really good deliveries. That sometimes it's not necessary. There's 11. And really, there have been just proper cricket being played, and we're at 11 and still a delivery to go.
That's right. And what that does is that it puts the pressure back onto the bowler, because now he has to almost try to be perfect most of the time.
Played nicely down the backward square, and very good run in there by Matthew. Jackson himself having to run back, and the batsman were able to pick up an easy 2, and that concludes the first over. Ginger Generals being sent into the bat after the first over. They are 13 without loss.
Yes, and for viewers, if you may try to remember, they're 13 of the first over, and you could barely remember a shot played in anger. In fact, except the straight drive, there was no real shot in anger, but they were able to accumulate 13. And I think, yeah, they has to, and also to break that that culture of wickets falling in the first over, and probably in the second over, you want to probably get through that period, yeah, and try to get through that power play period with as little damage as possible.
So as you said, Justin, is an important game for Ginger General. They are on 6 points. Already played 5 games. And Redhead, who picked up the attack from the southern end. A little bit of a movement there. And Jeremiah looking to angle it to play down to third man, make no contact. Ginger General 5 games. They won 3. They lost 2. They're on 6 points, and they're actually sitting in third position at the moment. Clove Challengers in their 5 games has won 4. They're on 8 points. This one is swing hard. The mid-on fielder coming around and settles on that and takes a really good catch there. And again, this is the first sign we have seen there of Jeremiah, the sort of aggression. Ball probably bounced a bit more than he expected, and was into the pull shot. But ball hit high up on the bat, and the fielder there on Ned coming around from that mid-on area had to move quite a distance, but was able to get there and accepted the catch.
Well, the first impression you get about Jeremiah is that when he gets out in that manner, you get the feeling that he's playing a bit out of character. He's not really that type of enforcer. He's one who probably depends more on timing, placement, and everything else. But when I've seen him probably trying too hard to hit the longer, the maximums and so on and so forth. So he probably needs to just look at that, because we know he's a much better player than that.
Yeah, I agree with you. He just looked as though he rushed into the shot. And it's only the second over. You had 13 in the first over. And it's a shot lifting delivery. And maybe instead of trying to pull it, maybe it might easier to come back and play it over point. But you could see him rush into it. And that ball seemed to have come onto him a little quicker than he expected. And was only able to get it down to that mid-on. But that's a big blow. Jeremiah, one of the mainstay of Ginger General.
Once again, we've seen wickets falling very early. In fact, the first ball now again of the second over. And it's the second time in the tournament, if my memory serves me right, that Nicholas Redhead has picked up a wicket in his first delivery.
Yeah, it's actually the second delivery.
Yes, second delivery. But yeah, yes. So very early on, he's picked up wickets. When he hasn't, he has gone a bit expensive though too.
Steered down to third man. Jeremiah, the brother of Johan Jeremiah. So he's off the mark with 1. Has been a good over so far by Redhead. Just there and there, about not too short or not bringing it, not over pitching. And as we were saying there, it is a shot that I think that Jeremiah tried to make a shot out of a ball that really wasn't short enough. But I like the attitude of Anil Matthew. Seem intent of making sure he play correct. Play each ball on his merit. We know that he possesses the strength, the power to hit the ball out of the ground with ease. But so far he's been, seemed to be very selective, very focused.
One of the things we always like to see is these players, despite what level they think they are, still working on the game, not feeling that they have, know it all. I saw just a few days ago, in fact, Anil Matthew being shown a few things in terms of his bat grip and everything else, trying to enhance his game, trying to enhance his play. And I think as a player, you'll never stop learning, and these are the things you want to see. You want to see these youngsters, you know, and also the senior men, those who have gone on before, being so approachable that these youngsters can come to them for advice and everything else. And they too will be willing to provide some advice and guidance to these youngsters.
Yeah, he's one of the younger players who has shown a lot of commitment. You could see he spent time, he studied the game. He would leave where he lives in St. Andrews and come down and just to practice here in St. David's and Las Vegas. One of the things we haven't been seeing, Justin, is that cricketers, you know, practicing, going out and practice as we know. This one is hit straight, superb shot. And that's a first carry power hit. Ball pitched up, and he did nothing wrong. They just came forward and lifted it. Went straight back. And a tremendous shot.
Yes, so saying to Dubiset, you have to try to get me out because I really will not be too rash against you. And probably that's the reason based on the fact that Dubiset would have tried to knock him over on this occasion. And he struck it hard and straight down the ground for four. But what we are saying is, looking at different type of player this morning.
Loft again down to long on, and they're going to clear the long on field for the second carry power hit. And he played it over long on for another 6.
Yeah, and I think the beautiful thing about it is that he's going straight down the ground. So he's eliminating all the dangers and risk by hitting the ball from where it came from.
Yeah, you're right about that. He's playing going straight. And again, credit to him in terms of his technique, looking to hit the ball straight, not to be hitting across. I think Dubiset will want to change his length. Yes, this one's shorter in length, and you can see him there, not trying to do too much, but just playing it with all the ease, all the comfort on the offside. Doddy really looks pretty compact and pretty organized. And in Matthew, he's on 19, included 2 maximum short delivery. And there goes the ease down to backward point.
Moving well, one can see the feet moving. It's either right back or right forward. And that's what you want to see. So, good start by him. Of course, Coney, I don't know if you had a look at the. We talk a lot about the conditions, how lovely the conditions are. In fact, yesterday it was a little bit dark. It was overcast. Today, the sun is just trying to break through. Still very humid out there, but really excellent conditions. Had a look at the pitch this morning, and it's in peak condition. And you've seen already. The batsmen are able to play through the line of the ball. Of course, if the bowlers bend their back, they get something out of it.
Yeah, a very good pitch. We have seen it for the first week of the tournament. This one just past the cover fielder there. I think it was Jackson in the covers. They've not been able to stop this one. So Jeremiah pick up 2.
He did save 2 because he got his hand to it, and I think that would have prevented it from speeding away to the boundary.
Yeah, you're right about the conditions. I think that the pitch continues to play well, and you said if they bend their back, because we would have seen in yesterday's game, some ball which would have bounced. A couple of them went over the keeper head and went down to the boundary. So really, there is something in the wicket for the bowlers if they bend their back. And it's easy for the batting. You can play through the line. And when you look at the amount of sixes that have been hit, it says something about the surface you are playing on. And again, no credit is too much for the ground staff. Would have done a tremendous job.
Yes, certainly provided that avenue for batsmen and bowlers to really continue to perform to the ability.
So 31 for 1 after 3 overs. Matthew on 20 really looked good for his 20 runs.
It's probably best we have seen him throughout the tournament so far. We know his potential. We know he can hit the ball a long way. But probably, especially for some of those batters who are, that type of range hitters, it's just a question of, picking the right deliveries to hit. Because, as I was telling you, I had some discussions with some youngsters down there earlier on during the day yesterday and stuff. And they are now coming to the realization that, yes, it's 10 overs, but still, we have probably more time. And that's what we're trying to get them to understand.
Yeah, I agree with you certainly there. Wide signal, I certainly agree with you. And you made a good point there. They understand that they have more time. 10 overs is still a lot of time. Yeah. And I continue to speak about the strategy that is employed by our top batters. What we have seen here of Anil Matthew this morning was a whole turnaround. He has not put a foot wrong. Every shot that he would have played, technically correct, real good cricketing shot. And interestingly, coupled the delivery pass and he allowed it to pass. He didn't play a shot. This certainly is, this 20 that he scored, to me, is really a top knock of that 20. And we could see the concentration and the focus. And one hopes that he go on to get a good one. And there goes Gerald Jeremiah. They're looking to force.
Yeah.
Could have been on the back foot and really placed that through the offside, maybe some way down to the square cover area. But again, looking to pull. So every now and again, that instinct come where you think you want to make a shot for a ball that is not there.
Well, he did rehearse what he probably should have done, exactly what you were talking about. And when he rehearsed the shot, he was looking to play it somewhere into the offside. So that's what probably he should have done first and foremost. Again, the pressure is out to score 1-2 dot ball, and you think that you has to do something extraordinary. So far, it's been a very good over. Only the wide so far from it. 32 for 1.
Yeah, good bowling so far. Redhead in the second over. He has only gone for 3 and picked up the important wicket of Johan Jeremiah. Played out, caught behind. Actually steered it to the keeper. And Jeremiah once again, to me, is playing away from the body. Ball leaving him, playing away from the body, and probably looked to play it, I would think, a little bit squarer down to third man. But you can see as he opened the face of the bat, and we're probably going to look at the replay here, Justin, and just sort of opened the face of the bat and taking the edge, a big edge, and taken by the keeper.
But yeah, it's something that we hear so often in international cricket, especially when it comes to a bowling lineup, like the Australian bowling lineup. Yes, hard lines, hard lengths. And Jeremiah, they're not totally committed forward, not back, been caught almost in no man's land. And just fencing at it, the delivery slanting across the left-hander to a certain extent. As I said, hard lengths, hard lines makes it very difficult. Because the type of length and line probably you'll see more in test matches and the longer version of the game. And it probably brings us to Coney to the realization that despite these guys exploiting this shorter format of the game, probably they need to engage in more of the longer version of the game to sharpen their skill a lot more and to give them a better understanding, of how to build their innings and tempo and everything else.
Yeah, it really looked as though that ball came off the face of the bat, and that indicates you how he angled the bat. Getting a little bit closer, he would have been on top if he hadn't been able to just place into the position he wanted. This is well played. Eugene dunked to that backward point position. Actually, same delivery, but what was different here, Eugene was closer to it. He moved a bit, so he was in control, got over it, and steered it down to the backward point fielder who is on the boundary. And what Jeremiah would have done was stand where you were and just try to open the face of the bat.
Yeah, so not enough bat being presented to the ball. In this case, Eugene virtually played it with a straight bat. And with the angle, got it down to behind point. Jeremiah, on the other hand, opened the face and didn't really present the full face of the bat to the ball. And as a result, it went virtually straight into the gloves of the keeper.
Another lovely delivery over by Nicholas Red. It has been a tremendous opening spell. He had 2 overs and picked up 2 for 4. Could very well be the best opening spell we have seen in the tournament.
Indeed. Anil Mati there probably would have been undone by the fact that he would have seen most of the deliveries would have gone across the left-hander, probably come into the right-hander, and this one just seemed to have held its line. And for the way Matthews have batted this morning, we probably had to be a delivery, very excellent delivery to go past his outside edge at this stage.
Yeah, you're so right about that. Good delivery. And Matthew again with us looking to play in the air, and that ball flew past the outside edge. But really has been a tremendous opening spell by Nicholas Redhead. And he should feel very pleased with the 2 overs that he bowled. Only allowed 4 runs, picking up 2 wickets in the process. So Ginger General, they are 33 for 2 after 4 overs.
They probably would have preferred somewhere closer to 50, but Sabina, what is a solid start? They would hope to keep wickets in hand. So towards the back end, they can launch an attack knowing that they have some wickets in hand. I think that is what is important. This spell by Cut Murray would be very important too. It's a very important cog in their bowling lineup, in their bowling attack.
This one is hit down to, let's see the long on fielder coming around. And takes a really good catch there. And we see the sort of shot seemingly out of character there. John L. Eugene looking to hit over long on. And really wasn't to the pitch of that delivery. And this is where, Justin, we continue to speak about you using your feet. Yeah. You needed to get closer to that delivery. Only held out.
Another thing, Crony, too, is we also look at, play in the moment, match awareness. We just lost a wicket, an important wicket. First ball from the spinner. We haven't really taken a little time to. This is a delivery that probably could have been knocked straight down the ground and pick up a single or 2. Instead, he went for maximum and really didn't get hold of it. So I think things like that, these are the little things that these players need to understand. Play in the situation, play in the moment, and being aware of what you need to do when you get a chance to do it.
So really there's a need for the players to understand the game. In that way, they know what is necessary. But again, as you said, with Cut Murray coming on to bowl, they, creates a different challenge. And he didn't take very long before he got actually his first delivery. And picking up really that valuable wicket. We know the ability of Eugene.
Yeah.
But as you said, Cut Murray has done well in this tournament. He came up against some of the top players when they were really going, and he was able to hold his own. And picking up a wicket in his first over, actually his first delivery. It's 3 for 35. Ginger Generals. They were asked to bat first by Clove challengers. Anil Matthew. It's 20 from 11.
Jilks has come in, and he too probably is indebted to the Ginger Generals. Haven't had a big impact with the bat so far.
He pushed confidently down to wide long off.
Let's come. Right. Oh yeah, or two right, sorry.
So we had 3 wickets has fallen. The only person in goal figures is Matthew, 20. The scores are 1-4-1.
What Matthews cannot do now, though, is to allow what has been happening around him to affect how he goes from here on. He has to just continue going the way he is going, and the other players need to come in and, well, play around him for as long as possible.
And you could take 4 footsteps backward.
It's important that he now would need to steer right to the end. If Ginger General is going to get up to any competitive score. As you see, Justin, the sun comes out brighter.
So this is what we're talking about, a delivery. Well bowled, in fact, by Murray. It could have been a quicker ball, almost yucca length, and Jilks having to dig it out from his toes, but didn't look to be too extravagant. Just knock it down towards the fielder coming up the long on boundary and picked up an easy single. And there again, Anil Matthew coming well forward and showing some respect to another delivery that was well lined and bringing up the end of cut Murray's over. So, you know, these batsmen have to, as I was saying earlier, Crony, be aware. Who are the bowlers we need probably to ensure that they do not make too much of an impression in terms of taking wickets? Yeah, and
Well,
who do we target?
Well, I wonder if this sort of discussion takes place with the teams, because you need to know who are the weaker bowlers, and your batters need to know, well, listen, if there's this particular bowler we had to go easy with, make sure he's off, and you take advantage of the others. These are discussions that the team should have, so everybody understand who they are playing against. They understand, they know the bowlers, they know who are the batters, who are the persons that they need to keep tight. And so I think understanding the game is so vital in terms of how you deliver when you go out there. That's an important point that you make there. Know your weaker bowlers.
As you mentioned a while ago, the sun was out, and really nice to see the sun. Of course, some of our Caribbean neighbors are going through periods of severe flooding. Of course, Dominica, Trinidad and Tobago, and some of the other islands have been going through severe flooding as a result of, well, we have the first tropical wave from the African coast coming across the Atlantic. And if that is an indication of anything to do with the weather, we probably can expect a rather active hurricane season.
I hate down to longer, not timing it much. As we see Richard Rogers. Rogers, one remember, was roughly treated in the spell yesterday. But we're not too far from the start of the official start of the hurricane season.
Well, it's funny, eh? The only reason we, from time to time, we do. Oh,
This one hit in the air, and the bowler comes on there, it takes a simple catch, and Jilks here, a bad shot, a bad delivery, which really should have been put away. And somehow his timing was off, and it just went up in the air and provided a simple catch to the bowler.
well, what can easily be aptly be described as probably a total mental breakdown. No way that was on. You know, he went for something. I don't know what it is. How to describe the shot? It was short. It was never there for a stroke like that, but still went through with it. And this type of thing we were talking about, Tony. You know, awareness of situation, match awareness, and knowing what you need to do, assessing quickly what the situations are. But all of that are learning curves and take some time, experience, having to handle certain situations over long periods during your career where you can come to that type of maturity, as I could call it.
It really have been disciplined batting by the Ginger Journals, and I think it really started from the top with a shot from Johan Jeremy. I do believe when these senior players have to take up responsibility, bat right through, and that really should be his role. If he, based on his ability, he batting right through the inning will almost certainly be assured that Ginger Journal is going to get a good enough score that will make it difficult for the Clove challengers. But it started from the top with poor shot selection, and it has continued.
There's so little we could take away from the Clove challengers. In fact, they have done a lot of things right, and they probably look the part. They probably look like the team of the tournament so far at this stage, and it will be difficult to see them really being less than successful as they are so far.
Yeah, has been good bowling. You know, the innings of Matthew really has been a different one to the rest of the players.
Well done. Well done.
So they have so many weapons, so many resources to call on in the bowling department. Of course, there's still Darren Ned, who we haven't seen yet. There's Zach Jackson, who haven't bowled yet. So there's still lots of resources to call on. And I think in that area of the game, they probably look the most balanced of the teams we've seen so far.
So 41 for 4. We have 6 completed overs, and it is a struggle. And one, I think that Andy Matthew may just have to look to change gear. Wickets falling around him. But I must say his approach to me was a good one in this inning. He looked good when the ball is there to be hit it. He had 2 maximum, straight drive for 4. This one just past the third man, and it goes down to the boundary for 4. Again, as we see Abraham there having to reach for this one, looking to come down, and I thought that Murray would have seen that, push it a little bit wider, and he really had to stretch for it and just beat the short third man in.
Do be set.
Jackson.
Do be set.
Do be set, just to his right, and Abraham pick up a boundary.
Of course, Doobie not the most nimble of fielders in the field. So.
45 for 4 into the 7th over. Caught Murray in the 2nd over, so I pick up 1 for 9. In Abraham not getting bat to the short of a link just outside the off turn with the angle. They seem to be going further away. Really to a good bowling by Murray. Again, keeping it really tight.
You can't help though, but feel sorry for Anil Matthew, who had been standing at the non-strikers end for most of the time.
The cover comes wrong,
yes,
and takes an easy catch. Abraham getting a short ball and really didn't do much with it. But it's a ball that really one expect that you should be able to put away. Either you go mid-wicket or hit in the covers. And
all of a sudden, the Ginger Generals are in danger of not posting probably the type of total that will challenge the Clove challengers. Very, very far from probably posting a score of even close to 80. And this really is not expected to post any kind of a challenge, much of a challenge to the Clove challengers.
What I know that Ginger General will be very disappointed with the batting way they're at, and Justin, we cannot fall the pitch for none of the wickets. It really have been and poor shot selection. This last 2 wickets that fell. This was again another short delivery, but pulling out. He was pulling away. So that ball was just shortish in length, and so he had to really, had to stretch to really get the bat to it, and as such, was not able to get any control, and no power.
Scott Murray, 2 for 9. So again, he's continuing to cause problems for the batters, continuing from where he left off. So that's a lot of confidence, Scott Murray. And he seemed to be this one of the spinners who have really found the right pace to bowl on the surface. They have found it very difficult to get him away, and he has also picked up wickets.
So that completes his second over. Murray has gone for 11 more of his 2 overs. So the spinners doing well so far. 47 for 5 after 7 overs. We saw Bartholomew. He's 2 from 1 delivery. Matthew 22 from 14. 47 for 5. Ginger General being asked to bat first here today. Generals will be really happy with this sort of performance by the bowlers, with the exception of Matthews, only person to reach double figures so far.
So where Ginger Generals get to know will depend heavily on Matthews, and he will probably have no other choice than to manipulate this strike from here on, and because he has found it very difficult to get on strike. And wickets have fallen, lots of dot balls, so he probably will have to, as we saw Andrew Fletcher did a couple days ago, where he decided, well, I'll take every one of the last few deliveries that remain to give the team a good chance of posting a respectable total.
Again, the timing is not there. Ball just bouncing to the cover.
It's a realization. It's a realization again of what you need to do now is to simply look to just push it into gaps and get Anil Matthews back on strike. So he has to have a word with the new batter.
This one goes in the air, and you could see him bowing the head as he played that shot, and not just evaded the fielder again. Jackson there moving back and probably just getting the hand, probably just a fingertips hit as we're going to look at it again. Joseph slow delivery.
I think he got a lot of hand onto it though, but maybe no.
Yeah,
in fact,
probably
just going through the hands, but probably in the periphery vision, seeing the Keto was right there and probably in self-preservation.
Back up, guys.
So it was not as easy as it looked. He didn't really get his hands to it, but one cannot fault Matthew. He now has to begin to change his approach, change gear. But as you said, probably that might be a good play for him to take most of the strike. It's not something you want to see in this format of the game. Played down to mid-wicket, ball pitched up.
Come on, Jerry. Back up.
Clove and Bartholomew. A young player, under 19, but does possess the ability to hit the ball very hard. 53 for 5. Matthew 26 from 17 deliveries. Short delivery, load up, he's out, caught at the wicket. And this was short outside the off stump, and he was swinging and taking the edge and accepted by the keeper.
Yes, and probably been walked over there by Sheldon Joseph. There were a couple slower deliveries which really um, beat Matthews, which he didn't deal with too much. And there was one now shot into the pitch, into the wicket. And Matthews outside the off stump, Matthews swinging at it and probably not in line with it. And we've seen so many dismissals like that during the tournament so far. And all he managed to do was get a thin fade, maybe a bottom edge through to the keeper. And he went. So at the moment now, Coronido 8 overs gone, 53 for 6. The projected score is 66. And I don't think it's a 66 run wicket out there.
No, I agree today. It's not. I mean, it's nothing to do with the pitch in my view. This was it was sensible bowling by Joseph. You know, obviously with the situation that the Ginger General in, Matthew had to take chances, and he probably saw him coming and pitched it a little bit wider, and he swung at it. And really, he was off balance. Really lost his shape and really could not have done much with that particular delivery. Took the edge, and the keeper collected the catch. But he has been placed under extra pressure. We had to try to do something. Rogers, it's one swing down to backward square, and the fielder is placed down there. So just single. Yeah, I think he was placed in a position where he had to try to do something, and he's making the effort. So one sees the result when you try to bat in away in terms of trying to play shots that is not on. And Matthews just is losing his wicket, but as I said, can't be faulted. 55 for 6, we are in over number 9. And Rogers has gone for 5 so far in his second ball. Pitch up, hit straight, and goes down to long off. Easy catch taken there. Bartholomew not being able to clear the long off area. And Rogers picking up yet another wicket.
Yes, and once again, another batter falls, trying to go beyond the boundary. And good bowling this time again by Rogers, just throwing it up a bit, asking him to go for it, and falling for the trap. So good bowling, good thinking by the spinner, and being caught just about 15 meters, 20 meters inside the line. So really haven't made much contact at all, good contact at all with that one. And he has to go, Bartholomew. But he had to try. It's a difficult situation for the Ginger Generals.
I won't get the impression from here that ball is in the slot, but it just required a little movement. But that was not done. He stayed and looked to hit it over long off. Didn't succeed.
And we must also admit, Gurney, that these boundaries here are fairly long, relatively long. Even in when you compare them with some international cricket boundaries that are 50, 60 meters. Boundaries are well beyond that.
Yeah, particularly the square boundaries. I mean, I was seeing. I am pretty sure you could get at least 90 meters to the square boundaries if you're going to use the whole field. Then it's short off the mark with the first delivery. The straighter boundaries probably might be a little shorter. Not might be, they are shorter, but even that you will still get a full length, a full size boundary.
Yeah.
You 60 and over can be considered full size.
Very much
Probably
so.
could get 65. And he's bowled. Yet another wicket going there.
In Davis Charles. Looking to go big on the onside. Delivery well pitched up, given generous flight. And all he can do is drag it back onto the stumps. So another wicket for Rogers. And his figures makes very, very good reading. In fact, he may have missed it altogether. 3 for 6. And no wonder why he's happy.
Yeah, it has been a dismal batting performance by the Ginger Generals. You look back to see those wickets falling. at 56 for 8, and you look back and you will think that something had happened to the wicket with the pitch. But really, it has been poor shot selection right through. And as I said before, Justin, it started from the top.
Yes, and probably first match of the day. Some of the batsmen look like they haven't awakened from their slumber. They come out and really hasn't made a good fist of it at all. Ronald Williams is at the crease. Not known for his real explosive batting. But he will have to try to probably stick around for the remainder of the overs left. And gets a single. We needed probably to see more of that. Batters really looking to just knock it into open spaces and try to rotate the strike a bit.
So 57 for 8, 9 overs completed. But to be fair, I thought that really the start, particularly by Matthew, looked well. I mean, he looked organized. And this is how you want to play the game, man. Look at the first few shots that you would have played. You know, all really good cricketing shot. Ball pitched up, hit for 6. One over long off, one over long on, straight drive. And really, you could see an effort from Matthews. So really change the approach in terms of playing the game, which was the right one. I don't think he got the support from the next set. And having his captain going very early. And then he had Eugene coming and also didn't last. It began to put some pressure on him. And as such, he had to do something coming up to the 8th over. So Joseph in his second over. Leg by will be signal. Isaiah Peters and Sean Manmoring, who is at square leg. Peters presiding.
But that little period, Ronnie, that we were talking about, where Anil Matthews were really deprived of action, of strike, and maybe 3 or 4 wickets falling in the process, I think really didn't do his confidence, didn't do him any good, didn't do the team any good.
Yeah, you're right. And this could affect your concentration, your momentum when you are being starved of the strike after you are looking so good. And, you know, a couple of overs pass, you didn't get a strike, and then wicket begin to fall. No, when you come back on strike, you know, it sometimes looks as a completely different game. Another single. And Clove challengers wouldn't mind that. Four to give away, 6 singles in the over. It's 60 for 8. Just 3 deliveries remaining. So they would have just passed the lowest score that have been made in the tournament. It's 59. Driven straight.
So even Dennis George, who have known to been able to hit a pretty decent ball too, to just struggling to get a boundary away. And from the evidence we have seen so far, it is very unlikely to think that we will see much more boundaries or maximums. With only 1 ball to go, 62 for 8. And certainly the Clove challengers will probably see that as a not too difficult challenge for them. Short outside the off stump and over the head and going down towards the boundary, but Rogers skips across and feels well. So as well ends well for Clove's challengers after 10, 64 for 8. And if you told them before, probably 64 for 8, if I asked them this morning, would you take 64 to chase in your game today, I don't think they would have hesitated to accept that gleefully.
Yeah, you're right. Good bowling performance by Clove Challengers, but I must say aided by some poor batting by Ginger Generals. They have been able to really dismiss Ginger General just for 64. Duby 2 overs, done for 29. Nicholas Redder 2 overs. He had 2 for 4. Cott Murray in 2 overs, 2 for 11. Richard Rogers 2 overs, picked up 3 for 7. And Sheldon Joseph and his 2 overs. He also picked up 1 for 12. So all the bowlers would have picked up wicket with the exception of Amical Dubiset, who was pretty expensive for his 29 in his 2 overs. But all in all, it was a good bowling performances. Johan Drema, he was caught by net ball Nicholas Redder for 1. Anil Matthew caught Samuel Charles, bowled Sheldon Joseph 26. Gerald Jeremiah caught Charles, bowled Nicholas Redder 4. John L. Eugene caught Richards, bowled caught Murray 1. Jilks, he was caught and bowled Rogers for 5. Abraham caught Joseph, bowled caught Murray for 5. Bartholomew caught Murray, bowled Rogers for 5. Davis Charles, bowled Rogers 1. Dennis George not out 5 and Ronald Williams not out 3. And as we look at that scorecard, there's just one person that reached double figures, which was Anil Matthew for 26. Dismal batting performance. Really, you would have expected a lot more from Ginger General, particularly coming off and winning the last game.
Yes, and quite interesting reading in truth. And none of the other batsmen either, apart from not getting into double figures, none of the other batters have faced more than 9 deliveries. So,
So Clove Challengers would we need 65 to win. We're going to take a short break and just await the reply of Clove Challengers.
Ginger Generals. Welcome back here at the Lassa Just Playing Field. And a paltry total by Ginger Generals. 64 for 8 of 10. They will be very disappointed with that. And Clove Challengers will be seeking to challenge that total. Good afternoon, Raphael.
Yeah, good afternoon, Stevenson. I agree with you. Very dismal batting display by the Ginger Generals on what is on a good pitch. But we saw really some sort of atrocious shot making. A number of the wickets fell to short deliveries and balls that really was not hit properly. Again, players batters out of position and as such really faltered in putting away some of the short deliveries that was bowled to the batters.
Yeah, well, obviously there was a challenge of playing the shorter stuff, Charles, with the first ball and pushed up to mid-off. This scamper, a single. So Clove Challengers off the mark. Charles taking strike. Jackson just pushed that one up to mid-off. And Davis Charles continue. Here's a second delivery. Down the leg side. There's a type of appeal for leg before. And that goes up to the fine leg area. Umpires just signal a leg by.
Yeah, and Charles would have been disappointed there not to really put away that full toss on his legs.
That's a big hit down the ground. That's going to go all the way. Fine shot. 4 runs. Couple of bounces over the boundary line. He got under it. Didn't really want to hit down the ground. The intention was to go airborne, and he certainly did. And the ball bounced in just a few yards inside the boundary line, but carrying over for the first boundary of the innings. Good start.
And not a bad delivery. It speaks to the condition of the pitch, because really that was not a bad delivery, and you saw the Jackson hitting through the line and not getting hold of it.
Again, he is hitting that down to the extra cover area, and that's going to go over the boundary line once more. 4 more. This one hit just a little squarer, more to the right of the previous one, with the same result though. Yeah. Nice shot. Beautiful shot. And picked up 4. So 2 boundaries coming in this over already. Charles is being roughed up here by Jackson. There's an appeal for leg before, and the umpire says not out. Well, everybody was screaming, how's that umpire? We'll get a chance to look at it.
Well, he now says out, so we don't get a chance to look at it.
Well, he has finally put him out, but after pleading and imploring, struck on the knee. And so the first wicket has gone. What do you make of that, Raphael? Umpire Peters took eternity.
Yes, I don't think he was convinced that was the right decision to make, and probably could have gone anyway. Maybe just look as we would have just missed the leg stump, but umpires, as who is supposed to be in the best position to make that decision, but really stayed a long time. And I think it's because of the consistency of the appeals.
Yes, that was what you call delayed.
Samuel Charles.
But Roland Cathos come out to join Charles. Clove Challengers already lost a wicket. Here is Davis Charles. Hits that in the air. That's going to go a long way and will clear the boundary line. It does. A carry power hit maximum. Ball pitched up. And he came forward and swung right into it. It was a lofty blow by Cato.
Oh, that's a huge one, and it's probably hit a drop on top of the building. Really has been a massive hit by Cato. And that ball clearing the boundary and just dropping the top of the pavilion and rolling over.
So 16 coming in the first over. 1 wicket falling. But I don't think that the umpire necessarily got it wrong, Raphael. I think the question is whether he was indeed pressured to finally raise the fatal index finger. I thought he took too long to raise the finger. The batsman was already on the other end before he finally gave him out. And all the players were screaming, "How's that, umpire? How's that? How's that, umpire?" And finally, umpire gave in.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I do believe it's because of he was put under some pressure. And it's not that the players were appealing for a very long time, but, you know, it was an aggressive appeal. Everybody went up, and he stayed a while. And then after, I think, made the decision. But, you know, this is, you know, as an umpire, you want to be positive. You want to show that you are in control. When you make a decision, you should look firm, not to be moved.
Yes, and the player should be within eye shot, so to speak. So that player, if that player is running down, maybe attempting a run, the umpire should be affirmative enough to be able to say that's out, so he would have bought the run. But having gone down to the other end and had already stopped, that to me was just a wee bit too long. But
Yep.
of course,
Yeah, as an umpire, one has to be very assertive. You wouldn't always get it right, but when you make decision, you have to be really
right.
be assertive, be sure.
So here is the batsman. He is already on the other end, outside the off stump, and cuts well. Fine shot, 4 runs. Beautiful. It was outside the off stump. Onto the back foot went Charles and smacked that through the offside for 4. It was short enough, slow delivery, and got the treatment it deserved.
Yeah, good shot. Shortish delivery. Charles on top of it and hitting it through that cover region, just to the left of the cover fielder.
Now here is George again. This one, he opens the face of the bat and glides it down to backward point. Well bowled by Dennis George. He's not afraid. He's never been afraid to flight the ball. I think that's been one of the features of his bowling over the years. He's not been a flat, orthodox left-arm spinner. He's been known to give the ball generous flight. And then, you know, he can habit a flatter trajectory just to put variation, variety. That one again, given good flight and pushed up to mid-off and gets a comfortable single.
Yeah, one of his strengths, you know, as a left-arm orthodox spinner, is the control that he has. Just seem to be able to put that delivery where he wants to. And one could remember him, you know, playing for Grenada. And is a bowler that seems to be very difficult to get away. When he comes on, some things normally happen.
Yeah, so that completes the over. And after 2 overs, Clove Challengers, they're 21 for 1. Yeah, he's and not only that, he's also been known, referred to bowl very long spells, marathon spells. Had good temperament, good control,
Right arm over the wicket to you.
and a rather thoughtful bowler. And of course, he can now apply skill and also seek to impact younger players who are seeking to showcase the similar skill that he has. Delivery that is off the back foot and looking to pull that through mid wicket. Hits it hard into the ground.
Yeah, one remembers Dennis George bowling with Ronald Etienne. They has been together, been a handful, represented Grenada, and two of probably the tightest bowlers. Bowlers that when they come on, they're going to pick up wickets because it creates some difficulty for the batsman,
Yeah,
particularly in the shorter version of the game.
off the back foot, pulls that through mid wicket. Fine shot, 4 runs. Shot delivery by Eugene. Onto the back foot went Charles, and he pulled it in front of square.
Well, it actually, it's actually cleared the mid wicket boundary. I don't know if the. Let's see where this dropped. Yeah, actually cleared it.
So, 27 for 1. There's John L. Eugene in and bowls. Good delivery. Well bowled. Charles is equal to the task. Just plays it back along the turf for the bowler to pick up on his follow through.
I'd love to see where that pull shot ended.
Well, this one is down to the deep mid-wicket boundary. Cleaned up there, and the return comes back. So that completes an over that yielded 7. And at the end of it, some 3 overs gone. Clove Challengers are 28 for 1.
Yeah, pretty interesting to see where that delivery landed. And just from my advantage point, he really looked at it, clear the rope, but the umpire signaled 4, and probably no one really made any issue. But certainly from our end, looked at it, just cleared the rope.
Yeah, sometimes the fielders can be honest enough to say, well, you know, he did go over the boundary line. Yeah, I know the game is played hard, but it can be played also with honesty. George hits that down to the backward square area. That's Charles again. So he's really motoring along, and gets another boundary. Yeah, it was short, and he got into the wicket and pulled it well. Made very good use of the crease, going deep inside and pulling. And this time he tugged it around down to the deep backward square. They will in fact come back for the 3rd run. The return comes in and they get 3. Not very often we've gotten 3.
Again, interesting. Let's see what happens there if the umpires, because this look again pretty close as though it actually touches the rope, so we have a good idea what happens there.
Oh,
Yeah.
looks like having touched to me. And I think there is some measure.
Still awaiting the umpire.
Yeah, there's some measure of technology, so I think we should use it when necessary. TRR communication, they're fine. They're really superb in bringing all the
Come
pictures
from
here.
behind. Yeah, certainly that should be signaled for.
Still going to wait to see what the umpire would signal. Yeah, nice to see technology being used. And if for some reason you can't determine it, well then you give, in that case, the fielding side the advantage. Ball goes just behind square on the left side and they get a single. Well, they've got opportunity for an overthrow and they will come back for the second run. Poor cricket. I say poor cricket from the context that when a fielder is going after a ball, you've got to be backing up, whether it's backing up the keeper or at the non-striker's end. The bowler will have to get back to the wicket, or the fielder who is at mid-on or mid-off, as the case may be, should be looking to back up. Those are fundamentals that must be adhered to, observed. Down the track. Oh, gone stump. Beautiful. Beautifully bowled by George. Cato was advancing and George might have just pulled back the length a bit and he ran all around it. Well bowled, well, but that's a beautiful ball. And the bails were taken off in the flash. And so Cato goes for 8, stumped of the bowling of Dennis George. And what a wonderful piece of bowling. Yes, dancing down the track. He put on the dancing shoes and wasn't able to get back because he was beaten.
Yeah,
Beautifully bowled.
good bowling by George. And I think he really, as you saw him coming, it was a quicker delivery, and it seemed to have bounced a bit. And Katie was nowhere close to the pitch. And as he came down the track, he missed an easy stumping chance. But I think that's the sort of deliveries that Dennis George, is capable of bowling. He are able to work out batsmen, see what they are doing, and do something different. And his 2 overs, have been very good. He's still 2 deliveries and over to go. I think this is the reason why he came on very early to bowl for Ginger Generals. For if anything going to happen, it's important that he comes on early.
Yeah, he has. And has already created a stir. He's dismissed the important Roland Cato. So Tiran Ned now takes strike as the new batter. Short, gets inside and tucks it down just to the right of the square leg umpire. So that completes the over. 4 overs gone, 37 for 2. And Clove challengers, well, on course here, they need a further 28 runs, and they've got 37 balls to reach there. That's more than obtainable.
Yeah, just a small total of 64 really shouldn't create, any major concern for Clove challengers, who have been playing very well in this tournament. As we continue to see, is one of the teams that is now at the top of the table and has shown the sort of quality that could take them all the way. They have been doing very well. One remembers the victory against Nutmeg Warriors yesterday. They actually blew away Nutmeg Warriors.
A good total, wasn't it?
Yeah, good total. So they do possess batters with tremendous ability. And that 64 obviously look as a walk in the park.
Yeah, George had 1 delivery remaining. Sorry about that. Ball that was cut down to square cover and gets a single. So finally the over has come to an end. It's 38 for 2 or 4. So the required run rate just 4.50. They're going at 9.50 now. And Clove challengers, I think they're doing more than challenging that total. They need 27 of 36 balls, 6 overs in essence. Charles has looked pretty good today. He's 19 of 14.
So we have seen spin spin from both ends. We have Charles who the bowls 2 overs. Then we also had Dennis George. Now he's going to see who's going to pick up the attack. Eugene.
So here he is to bowl to Ned. Ned swings and swings hard. That's going to go all the way over long on. Fine shot for 6. That's a carry power hit maximum. Pitched up and he went down on one knee and lifted that high over long on. And that went for a towering 6. I tell you, this guy can hit the ball.
Yeah. Clove challengers would want to really win convincingly. As few overs as possible. Hit down to backward point for another boundary. Short. And he was back and lifted it over that point region. And rushed down to that square cover boundary for another 4.
Yeah, 17 needed of 34. I just seem to be his feet on the pedal. Gosh, a huge 6. And then one that was pulled back in length. He was onto the back foot quickly and cut that down to point area, cover boundary. And it went very quickly for 4. The umpire might have to call a colleague on with another ball, or is it found? We've had a number of balls lost over the last week or so since this tournament has begun, and lost to all parts of the field, really, all parts of the boundaries.
Yeah,
17 needed.
One would think when you talk about ball loss.
Pulls down to mid-wicket, catch taken, gone. Well, he really went for one too often. Shot onto the back foot, and he pulled that down to the deep mid-wicket area. The catch was taken. The batsmen are standing.
It seemed to be some concern. Let's see. Now he's walking.
Yeah, just wondered why he delayed his exit. Well, he's walking his way back. Can't be anything about touching the rope because his back leg was at least 1.5 feet inside. So net goes, cut down at the deep mid-wicket boundary. Caught by Alexander of the bowling of Eugene. Went for 11. Just 6 deliveries. So a little cameo there by Ned.
Yeah, I think the umpire just asked him to hold on. I think there was not sure. Probably just trying to make sure that the fielder was inside. From angle here, he was way inside. I think it seems as though the umpires were not quite sure. So probably just ask him to hold a while they
confirm. Yes. So all is well. Javed Hazard joins Samuel Charles. So the 3rd wicket has fallen for Clove Challengers. They're 48 for 3 over number 5. They still need 17. And they
we have not seen much of the lower half of the Clove Challengers batters. Hazard, I don't think would have batted much in the tournament.
Yeah, guess they've played good cricket, and so their lower order has not been put to the test. Pulls in the air down to the deep mid-wicket area. Will come back for the 2nd. So the 50 has just been posted in 4.5 overs. Healthy run rate of almost 10.5. Again, that ball is dragged from outside the off stump down to forward square, down on the boundary. And another single. So 5 overs gone. And at the end of 5 Clove challengers, they're 51 for 3. 51 for 3. Charles is 19. He has played sensibly. And Hazard is 3. They require 14 runs and exactly 5 overs to get there. The equation suggests that it's quite simple.
So there shouldn't be much difficulty. 51 for 3 after 5 overs. Samuel Charles, who was open the batting, is 19 from 14. And we were seeing in the beginning of the tournament that we haven't seen much from him. But last 2 innings, I think he was batted much better. I think he had a good score in the previous game. This one hit straight, lovely shot. Probably dropped, let's see. Seemingly 1 bounce. Yeah, again, we're going to confirm, umpire's going to confirm, but good shot. He got to the pitch of it and lifted it nicely back over the bowler's head. Still awaiting.
Yeah, he hit that really well. Got to the pitch of it and went underneath it. Well struck. So they're making this an easy task. No real trouble, albeit they've lost 3 wickets. But it was a paltry score by the Generals. Clove challengers, as Reefeld said, has had a very good run.
Didn't get, let's look at it here as we look at the replay. See me do it.
Hard to really confirm. Might have
No
gone all
beats.
the way. Yes. So that's a Carib power hit. Scoops that down to fine leg. It's going to be a chase. That would be 1 by the fielder. Williams sends the return in. So they had the opportunity to get 2. They capitalize on it. Hazard has gone to 11. This time looking to pull that behind square. Doesn't make contact. Ball hits him on the leg, maybe just dribbled behind the keeper collecting. Davis Charles in. Looking to play the dill scoop. Trying to be a little cheeky here. Down the track, gone. Well, it was given flight by Charles. And Hazard saw it and lifted his head, came down the track looking to heave that maybe over long off or long on, missed everything. The bails were taken off, and so he goes out stump. Another wicket has fallen, but I don't think it's going to in any way interfere with a Clove challengers victory. But Raphael, again, there was no real need for that, was there?
Certainly not. No need for it. I think he tried to finish it. And the last 3 deliveries, he was, looking to play some rather strange shots. Reverse sweep and the paddle. And hey, this one just went down the track. Really a nothing shot.
Yeah, no, that's poor cricket. It really is poor cricket. There was no need for a dismissal there. Just stay there and bring your team home.
And with just 5 runs remaining, there's really, really no need. As we look at it again.
Yeah, really ugly. Not taking anything away from the bowler, but the approach really was poor. Charles to bowl to Murray, the new batsman. He's off the back foot and opens the face of the bat and glides that down to third man. They will come back for the second run, and they do so rather comfortably. So Murray's off the mark. He's gone to 2. And at the end of 6 overs, Clove Challengers, they're 61 for 4. So the victory target right in sight, right within their eye line, so to speak. Just 4 runs needed, and they've got 4 overs to get those 4 runs. So we've got some stats for you. So far, 203 sixes have been struck, and interestingly, 202 fours have been struck in the tournament. So there have been more sixes hit in this tournament than fours. Quite interesting. You would think that maybe the 4 boundaries would be a bit more, but the sixes have been more. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, generally you will find the fours. Normally it's more than the sixes. And just to add here in terms of even the sixes, Darren leads the sixes in 26 hit.
Wow. Yeah, 20. That's a lot. Wayward delivery wide. Signal by the umpire now. So the Clove Challengers inching closer to the victory target. Off the back foot and cuts that down to the sweeper position. They would get 1 and come back for the second. So 1 run, I think, needed for victory. Yeah, it should be 1 run. That's right. 1 run. Are they able to get this in the 7th over? So Clove Challengers picking up another victory here. At least when they get this run. I don't think it'll be a matter of if they get it, but when they get it.
It's good to see Samuel Child getting among the runs. He has struggled for a long period.
Yeah, it's not been a fiery innings, but 21 of 16 has been a controlled innings. He knew that the target was a meager one. It's a bit of a hold up here, Repel.
And I suspect, again, the umpires just want to confirm in terms of the score.
Whether the target has been reached already.
Yeah. Based on actually, looking at the no ball, 1 shot have been signaled. Seemed to be 1 shot.
Okay, so 1 shot. Was that the signal you got, Raphael? Was it 1 shot or was it a no ball?
I got it. Look, 1 shot. Signaled 1 shot.
Okay.
The score was 64. It gone, and it's still 64. This goes for another maximum carry power hit. 246 of the tournament, and Clove Challengers would have won convincingly, 70 for 4.
Yes, it was more or less like a walk in the park for Clove Challengers against the Ginger Generals this afternoon. It was not a challenging total at all. 64 was that magic total for them to eclipse, and they eclipsed it rather easily, losing 4 wickets in the process, but they never seemed, at least throughout the innings, the run chase, as if they were in jeopardy at all. So Clove Challengers defeating Ginger Generals by 6 wickets, and the Ginger Generals continue to face challenges here. And Clove Challengers, I'm sure Rafael will be very happy with a great performance here at the Lassages playing field this afternoon.
Yeah, they has developed that winning ways, only having lost one game.
So let's look at the bowling analysis. Davis Charles had 1 for 25 of 2. Dennis George picked up 1 for 15 of 2, rather economical. And Jonah Lechen had 1 for 20 of 2. Bartholomew had just the 2 deliveries that went for 9 runs. And just to remind you, of course, 70 for 4 was the final score there for the let's look at the batting there for Clove Challengers. Aston Jackson didn't score many, just 9. 20 for Samuel Charles, not out of 16. Batted pretty well indeed. And 11 apiece for Darren Ned and Jared Hazard. But we did see a couple of stumping from Matthew behind the stump. They were easy stumping. One from Davis and the other one from George. Roland Cato and Hazard going via the stump out route. In the end, of course, scoring 70. Extras were 3. The Challengers, they won convincingly by 6 wickets. So scores in the match, Ginger General 64 for 8 of 10. And in Matthew, top scoring there with 26 of 18. And Clove Challengers 70 for 4 with Samuel Charles, not out 20. So it's been a pretty good performance by Clove Challengers. They've won and won convincingly, and they could pride themselves as one of those teams, Rafael, that has been playing pretty good cricket.
Yeah, they have done very well. And as I said, you look at the team in terms of the balance of the team. They look pretty good in terms of depth in the batting, and they do both possess quality bowling. And the fact that they continue to win, only have lost just one game, certainly indicates that it's a team to look for. It's a team that can go all the way. And certainly their continuous winning in really a big way really should instill a lot of confidence in the team as they continue in this tournament.
Yes, so pretty easy victory. And we, as usual, have the post-match ceremony. Would there be any post-match ceremony, Rafael? Just looking below us, and I think they're getting ready for that post-match ceremony. So we won't leave you as yet while of course, the pitch is being rolled in preparation for the next match. So just in case you've just joined us, the Ginger Generals were defeated by Clove Challengers by 6 wickets. We've had very good playing performance conditions rather here during the course of this play, in contrast to yesterday, where for the entire duration of the matches the very dark conditions prevailed. Today the sun has come out, not extraordinarily bright, but a much brighter day than it was yesterday. So we're looking forward to the next match coming up. So far the tournament has gone rather smoothly indeed, and not interrupted by weather, just for one match where I think just the 2 overs were taken out from the allotment. But by and large, the full quarters of overs have been bowled, and that augurs very good for the tournament. Still waiting the official ceremony. The next match coming up Well, we have Nutmeg Warriors, and they're coming up against Bay Leaf Blasters. So that's the next match, and that's going to be at 2:30. So we want to encourage viewers to stand by. We're still standing by for the post-match ceremony. Preparations being made, but by and large, Raphael, the tournament has gone rather smoothly so far. I'm sure the organizers would be very happy with the overall smoothness with which the tournament has been run.
Yeah, you're right. Things have gone rather smoothly. I think all the games would have went off very well. I don't think there's any major issue that we could speak about that would have happened throughout the game. I think there's one particular game what had to be decided by the Duckwood Lewis, and that was just with 2 deliveries. And one of the games was 9 overs. But by and large, I think we really had some very good games, very good competitive games. Some of the games probably in a sense a little bit one side, but happy that all matches went off well. And I thought that there were good, tremendous support even by the spectators being a part of the whole activity. So all in all, I think organizers can feel very comfortable, very happy to know that everything went smoothly. As we just await this presentation, we see that preparation is being done now on the pitch. And that pitch again, Stevenson, would have played so well throughout this week. They actually have 2 prepared wickets, 2 prepared pitches. One would think that the pitch probably might change tomorrow. And this particular pitch that they are playing on is probably the pitch you're probably going to have the final being played. But all in all, good conditions, and really this is what you need for cricket, particularly when you're talking about the shorter version. You need the kind of facilities that would enhance, that would encourage stroke making and good fast bowling.
Yeah, there was bounce in the pitch. There's no question about that. And all the fast bowlers can attest that when they really bent their back, they were able to get results from it. And that's important. And of course, the spinners would be very happy too, because they picked up quite a number of wickets in the tournament so far.
Yeah, well, we would have seen really a change anytime the slow bowlers come on to bowl the spinners. That certainly would have changed how things would have gone. So I think there was something there for everyone, whether it's the spinner, the fast bowler, or even the batsman. I think they all could have felt comfortably on this track.
Okay,
So
let's go
welcome to
down
the
for
post-match
the
ceremony.
post-match ceremony.
Welcome to the post-match ceremony of game number 17 in the Spiceisle T10. T10, of course, a very exciting encounter. We'd like to invite at this time the losing captain from the Ginger Generals, Johan Jeremiah, for a quick word. Johan, a very tough one for you today. Where do you think you went wrong?
Yeah, I think we didn't have enough runs on the board. You know, in T10 cricket, it's very important to set up the game for the bowlers. But I think with the batsmen, they delivered today. But it's just for us to reassess and come back.
In terms of the tournament, I know that you really wanted the points today. How badly would that affect you going forward?
I think we have 2 more games to play, and I think that the table is widely open for qualification. So it's just for us to come out hard in the next 2 games.
All right, congratulations, though disappointingly, but we want to wish you all the best in the competition. So, of course, we just heard from the losing captain, Johan Jeremiah. So we would now like to have a word with our winning captain for today. Kato, victorious today. How does it feel? What's the mood like in the camp?
The guys are quite happy. I think we have the momentum with us, so we just want to keep riding on it, keep playing good cricket, coming out every day, and trying to do the basics better than the other team.
Obviously, that puts you in a good position in the table. Do you feel confident that you'll make it to the knockout round?
Yeah, I think we have 10 points now, so I think that should carry us to the knockout round. But we don't want to qualify in the knockout round in third or fourth. We want to come first or second, so we could have 2 shots at the final.
Of course, we noticed that you were able to restrict the team to a very low total. Any compliments for the bowlers?
I think that the bowler just went out there and stick to the plan. I think today we stick to the plan a little bit longer than we did in the last couple of games, and we see the end results.
All right, so congratulations to the captain here. We're moving now to the awards for the match. We first start with the power bowler, or most economical bowler. And so I would like to invite to make the presentation the Assistant Secretary of the Association, Ms. Edgar. And I also like to invite Mr. Nicholas Redhead to receive the impact bowler of the game. Now I'd also like to invite the carry power hitter. That award goes to Samuel Charles. I'd like to invite Samuel again. Ms. Edgar would make the presentation. Samuel Charles, the carry power hitter for today's encounter. And finally, I'd like to present the Man of the Match award, again presented by Ms. Edgar. Richard Rogers, our Man of the Match for today's encounter. Richard, a very good game today. Of course, you had a very small total to chase. Tell us about your feeling on the game today.
Yeah, well, I thank God for his blessings. The captain as well. He have fitted me to hand it over and come and deliver for him. So yeah.
We know that points was very important for you. Going forward, do you think that you will be able to make it to the next round of the tournament?
Yeah, well, we're looking to win our next game and sit down and wait for any opposition to come up against us in the finals.
All right, thank you very much, Richard, for your Man of the Match performance. So this brings an end to the post-match presentation. Thank you very much. Match number 17, Spiceisle Junior Level T10 Tournament.